appreciate you all taking the time to sit with us for a few minutes today and learn about some recycling and repurposing ideas. You know, we're all trying to do our part with the environment, and if there's something that could potentially be tossed, why don't you think twice and maybe find another way to use it in your home? Like she mentioned, I do work with architectural justice, but I have been working in the remodeling industry. This will be my 20th year, so it's a lot of fun. I enjoy working with different clients, and everybody's got different tastes, so we fit to everyone's personal taste when we're doing their particular remodeling projects. Architectural Justice has been in business for 30 years now. We do have a beautiful showroom in Medina, and we have a granite fabrication shop on site, a cabinet shop on site. We do custom metal work and things like that, and we do also make cast stone. So if you're interested in redoing kitchens, bathrooms, fireplaces, any kind of bookcases, or just get some granite, we're a place to come and see what we've got. So today we're going to be talking about repurposing. So we've got different definitions of repurposing. To reclaim something, we're talking a lot about reclaimed wood lately. In our modern rustic feature down the aisle in the 1300 row, you'll see a lot of interesting ways that we've used wood that has been reclaimed, fallen trees. We can take those trees, slice them, make tables, make cabinets, make even you'll see some branches that were turned into a wine rack. So it's kind of fun to see all the different things, as well as even a light fixture, and you'll be able to see that at our display. Repurposing, you know, something old can be new. An antique headboard, for example, we show a way that it was transformed into a fireplace mantle. So different fun things like that. They can stay in the family. If it's an antique passed down for generations, you can repurpose it to your taste. And of course, recycling. We always want to think about ways that we don't have to take something and toss it in a landfill. So let's think about some creative ways that we can repurpose something and recycle it. Confucius said, everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. And not everyone sees it in the same way. You know, if you're given a plastic spoon, who can think of something creative with that plastic spoon? Well, we've got a way to show you. Same thing with zip ties. You know, something so simple and so inexpensive that we would just toss, we can find a way to make it new again. Here are some other items. We show something with pennies. You know, little pennies, you know, not many people take a bunch of pennies to the store and buy something, so why not make something beautiful with that nice copper penny? Bike chains. Here's another thing. You might have an old bicycle that you'll never use again, but we show a couple different ways to use a bike chain as in a recycling way. Bottles, a lot of our countertop surfaces, for example, this one here, they take recycled bottles and put it right into the countertop material. So it's beautiful, it's shiny, adds a little flair in your kitchen or bathroom. Reclaimed wood. Like I mentioned, this is one of our biggest things in our feature, Modern Rustic Living. This one we show a wall that's actually got reclaimed wood as the wall. So, you know, a unique way to show some wood that would have normally just gone for firewood or something like that. We can find a good purpose for it. This picture here shows some barn beams that were sliced. I have an example here. This is an example of a part of a barn beam. So when you slice it, you get that beautiful graining going through there. We show here how you can make a tabletop. We also framed that with some wine corks. So, sorry about that. So a very unique way to use some barn wood and some wine corks, put a piece of glass over that, you've got a beautiful table. Another example of reclaimed wood. On the right, we show this beautiful wooden vanity with a vessel bowl made out of onyx. You can light that bowl and see how it glows. We have that on display in our showroom in Medina. And on the left, we've got a wood medallion. Again, slicing the wood and making a beautiful medallion with different sizes of the wood. On the left here, we do have this vanity also on display at our showroom. We took different sized twigs, put them together, set in a clear glass vessel bowl, and you've got a very unique piece that's quite a conversation starter. This piece here, a vase, again, slicing twigs. You know, you can turn that into a vase, So I'll pass this around so you can take a look. Just very creative ways to use everyday items. This shows our the saw that we used to cut the big log. We made this huge table that's in our display. And you cut that. We have the capabilities of cutting a log up to 4 feet wide. So if anybody has a lot of property with fallen trees, you don't know what to do with those trees, we have the capabilities of taking those trees and turning them into furniture. We sanded that wood down. We made some grooves in there, and we took some metal and made custom metal inlays for that particular piece. So really a unique way to make that piece all your own. We could do pretty much any shape, put your initials in there or whatever you like. This is the finished piece. This exact piece is down in our feature. This particular table could sit 12 people. I don't know if everybody has that big of a dining room, but we can make those custom tables to size. Here's another example of a piece that is in our display. I love the wine rack made from a branch that was found on the owner of our company's property. He decided to put some wine bottle storage in there and some wine glasses as well. Also using LED lights, he was able to light up the back for added interest. This is another piece of our feature here, this bed. The headboard was made, again, using that big saw, and they book matched the wood. So it's like when you open a book, the pieces of wood are perfectly matched. So right down the center, you can see how it was put perfectly together. Built-in little tables on the sides for a nightstand and a bench at the end of the bed. So totally custom. We could do anything you like out of wood. Some other examples, everybody needs a way to hold their iPad and prop it up when they're trying to look at different things on the internet or read a book. So you can put a groove in some wood and have a custom iPad holder. Also a little coat rack with Flair. Repurposing. Now a lot of people might have some antique pieces that have been in their family for a couple generations. They want to keep that, but maybe it's not their style, or maybe they don't have a way to use it in the initial way that it was meant to be used. So here, antique hall tree, we remade that and repurposed it for a custom we have basement remodel that we did for a pool room. So a new cue stick holder, and we added a chalkboard as well. So again, they're able to keep that antique piece, but using it in a different way. Another example, here's the antique headboard that I mentioned earlier. A client came to us, her grandmother had this beautiful bed, but she didn't need another bed, but she wanted to take some part of that and keep it for herself forever. So we used that piece, we made a mold out of it, and since we do custom cast stone, we were able to make a cast stone mantelpiece, as you see on the right, and we also added some crown molding and things like that, and some flutes and corbels to really decorate it. And so she'll have this piece with her in her house forever. Another example of repurposing, these old floor screens converted into barn doors. Barn doors are huge right now. If you want to close off an area without having to worry about a door swing, slide them across. We use some really nice ball bearings on there, and they're in our feature, so you can see how smoothly they open and close. Any type of door, you can do mirrors, you can do glass, any kind of door you like. And for any room, if you have a library, or even if your master bedroom, you want to close off your closet instead of having a swing door that's going to take away your space for furniture, try thinking of a barn door. Anyone has a new family pet or an old family pet? Think about an old dresser drawer. Build a custom little bed for your dog or cat, or an old console TV. Everyone's getting rid of those old console TVs, but sometimes you really don't want to just put it on the curb. Cut out the center and make a little bed. Here are some pieces that we use, examples of our cast stone projects. Sometimes we'll take something like an antique frame from a mirror or a picture. We can make a mold out of that. Same thing with belts. The upper two displays on the left were actually belts that we made a mold out of. We can use these pieces to decorate backsplashes, I do have a cast stone piece. You can see this here, just a little medallion. So if you had a liner with one of those things, then we can add some little pieces throughout a backsplash. It's featured in our showroom too. You can come by and see that. But it's a unique way to add a little bit of interest instead of your typical backsplash material. The door on the left is where we used cast stone around as the trim. So instead of using wood molding, we made some custom molding. We also did the metal work in that door. So any type of metal you can think of, we can make it your own. On the right, we did a custom hood. Made it look like a copper hood, but that's actually made from cast stone as well. Here are a couple of my favorites, the plastic spoon light. Make a chandelier using those inexpensive plastic spoons, or a little lantern using those zip ties. So, like I said before, things that we think of as throwaway items, people have come up with some really creative ideas. Repurposing children's toys. Now, if any of you have children, you know that those toys only get played with so much. So then you have a pile of toys. You can find different ways to use those toys. Here you put a light through it, set it on your son or daughter's dresser, and that could be one of their keepsakes forever. Here's another example, toy cars. You know, what child doesn't have too many toy cars? You can paint them, make a frame for a mirror, or even a chalkboard. A lot of people are putting chalkboards or whiteboards in their children's rooms, so you can make a larger rectangular frame, and then they'll have that chalkboard or the whiteboard to use for years to come. Even if you have some broken old toy soldiers and cars, put them all together, paint them, and you've got a lamp base. Here are those pennies again. We've got a penny vase. So that's a unique way to have a nice, beautiful copper vase at not very much cost. Same thing with the floor. Here's the bike chain. Who would have thought you can make a bowl with a bike chain? Next picture, we've got bike chain table. Different colors, different shapes, different patterns. You know, you can do just about anything. You just have to be a little bit thinking outside the box, as we say. And bottles, like I was mentioning earlier, not just for countertops, but if you put bottles in a frame and you can make a box of sorts, light it from behind, you've got a beautiful accent piece. Here are some examples of those countertops that I was mentioning earlier. I'll pass around some samples. These actually are from Sky vodka bottles, as well as some other water bottles and things like that. The one that has the brown is actually beer bottles too. So I'll pass those around, take a look at those. A really unique way to recycle